Yo, what is good, everyone? Drizzy MMA here, and today I'm going to be going over my UFC Abu Dhabi picks, Ankalaev versus Guskov. It's honestly a pretty mid card. A lot of these guys are making their UFC debut, or they only have a few fights in the UFC. It's a lot of Russian guys, but should be a pretty good card, hopefully. So we'll get straight into it though with the first fight on the early prelims. We got Cody Gibson taking on Abdul Hussein. I'm going to be going with Abdul Hussein to get the win by TKO. He is a very good striker, and he does have a lot of finishing abilities. He does have power. Cody Gibson is taking this fight on short notice as well. He is definitely going to be a lot bigger for the bantamweight division. But yeah, he's coming off of a KO loss. He is getting older. I feel like Hussein has a lot of advantages in this fight. He has the striking advantage. He has the wrestling advantage. He's also the younger fighter. He's going to be a lot faster in there. So I got Abdul Hussein getting a knockout. I feel like it won't be, he's not going to knock Cody Gibson out cold, but I think he's going to pressure him, drop him, and get a ground and pound finish, probably within the first or second round. So I got Abdul Hussein by TKO round 1 or 2. After that, we got Nurullo Aliev taking on Mike Davis in the lightweight division. I'm going to be going with Nurullo Aliev to get the win by decision. He is undefeated. He's been looking very good. A lot of his fights have been somewhat close, though, but I just believe he's too dominant of a wrestler. I think Mike Davis has decent wrestling defense, but not good enough to defend the takedowns from Nurullo Aliev, and not good enough to be able to get up from those takedowns. I feel like Nurullo Aliev is going to do what he's done in his UFC career so far and just take him down and kind of hold him there. Win by decision based off of control, a little bit of ground and pound, a couple of submission attempts. But yeah, I think overall he's probably just gonna control him for all 3 rounds. So I got Nurullo Aliev getting the win by decision. But we'll see. If Mike Davis is somehow able to defend the takedowns, then he definitely could win this fight. He does have a big advantage on the feet. Nurullo Aliev is a pretty sloppy striker. He's kind of similar to Khabib in the striking, where he just throws big overhands, which it kind of works since his wrestling is so good. But yeah, I feel like Mike Davis doesn't really have a high chance in this fight. I got Nurullo Aliev by decision. After that, we got Magomed Tuchalov versus Brenson Ribeiro. I'm going to go with Tuchalov to get the win by knockout. This guy has a lot of power, and Brenson Ribeiro is on a losing streak, and I do believe he has been knocked out in those fights. I'm not sure exactly. Let's see if it lets me pull it up. Doesn't say how. Never mind. Or look, let's see. No, he got submitted, yeah, and then he got knocked out. So he has been knocked out before, and I believe this fight will end up being the same. Tuchalov, like I said, has a lot of power. He's a very good striker. I think he's going to pressure Brenson Ribeiro, land a big shot. I think this will be another early knockout. I'm going to go for round 1 knockout by Magomed Tuchalov. But yeah, after that, we got Ismail Bonfim taking on Axel Sola. Bonfim was a very hyped up prospect at first when he got into the UFC, him and his brother, but he hasn't really been looking good recently. And Sola does have a lot of finishing power. He's a very good striker. I just think he needs to pressure in this fight. Keep Ismail at the end of his punches, end of his kicks, and I think he'll probably win this one by decision. But he could also knock him out. He is a very dynamic striker. He has a lot of crazy kicks in his bag, so we'll see a lot of those kicks, a lot of those spinning strikes. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Axel Sola to get the win. Honestly, by knockout. I believe it'll be a late knockout. I think he's gonna pick Ismail Bonfim apart for the first and second round, and then get a late third round knockout or TKO. Yeah, Axel Sola, round 3 knockout TKO. After that, we got in the welterweight division, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Sam Patterson. I'm going to be going with Sam Patterson to get the win by TKO as well. Maybe even knockout. Sam Patterson's a very long, lengthy striker. He's pretty crafty. He does have knockout power. Ponzinibbio, he's getting older. Before he used to pull off a lot of upsets, but I think he's at the end of his career. I don't see him pulling off the upset in this fight. He hasn't really been looking good in his last 2 fights. He is chinny now as well, so that's why I'm leaning towards Sam Patterson landing that shot to be able to knock him out. But yeah, we'll see what happens though. Santiago Ponzinibbio has pulled off upsets in the past, but yeah, like I said, I really don't see him doing it in this fight. I got Sam Patterson by knockout or TKO. Yeah, pretty good matchup for him. Hopefully it's a better fight than the MVP fight. After that, we got Dustin Jacoby versus Muhammad Saidov in the light heavyweight division. I'm going to be going with Dustin Jacoby to get the win, probably by knockout, but I think this will most likely go the distance. Jacoby is on a knockout winning streak. He is a kind of a tricky fighter to go against. Like, he's hard to hit. He has good wrestling. He mixes it up really well. This is like I think on his third fight win streak, this is like his fourth fight that he's going against another prospect. I feel like they should put Dustin Jacoby up in the rankings a little bit more. He is a very good light heavyweight. But yeah, I think he's going to beat Muhammad Saidov. I think he's just a better striker, a better wrestler, more experience as well. I believe this is, let's see how much fights Saidov has in the UFC. I think this is his first fight in the UFC, yeah. So just, it comes down to experience, being under the bright lights in UFC, the big crowd. I think Dustin Jacoby is going to do good like he has. I think he's going to win this fight by decision, but I could see him knocking him out. So yeah, we'll see. Clicked out of it. But yeah, Dustin Jacoby by knockout, maybe decision. After that, we got another very hyped up prospect, Walter Walker, the man on a 4-fight heel hook submission win streak. Never seen in UFC history. Never even seen in MMA. I feel like in MMA you don't see people get heel hooks as much. That's more of just like, in jiu-jitsu matches, a lot of heel hooks happen, but you don't see that in actual MMA. It's pretty crazy that he's been able to do it, but it also shows how bad the heavyweight division is that someone's been able to get 4 heel hook submissions in a row, and I think this one might be the 5th. I think, Walker is better all around than Thomas Peterson. He's a better striker. He has better wrestling, better grappling, obviously. But Peterson is crafty. He does have decent takedown defense. He does have pretty decent, solid striking. But yeah, I just feel like Walter Walker, he's going to go out there and get the win. I feel like he has plot armor. He's going to go out there, get into some scramble or take Thomas Peterson down. He's gonna get the heel hook, 5 heel hooks in a row. The odds are pretty, close for this fight. I feel like Walter Walker is a pretty easy lock if you are gonna be betting on this card. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I got Walter Walker by submission. Maybe heel hook, maybe just a normal submission. After that, though, I think this is the start of the main card. Yeah. Kicking off the main card, we got Abubakar Vagayev. I probably did not say that right. Versus Sagid Izaga Chamayev. I'm probably not saying that wrong either. But yeah, I'm going to be going to Abubakar Vagayev to get the win by decision. He's making his UFC debut. He is, a pretty good fighter in the, regional scenes, but he is getting a little bit older, and he's just, I've looked at some of his fights, read some stuff about him, and he just seems like a pretty boring fighter. I think all his wins are by decision. He doesn't finish people at all, and I feel like this fight's going to be exactly the same. He's going to go out there, take down Sagid Izagayev and just kind of control him, maybe outstrike him a little bit, but I don't think this is going to be a very exciting fight. Sagid, I'm not saying this right at all. Sagid did lose the UFC debut, pretty close decision loss to Nicholas Dalby. He didn't look bad in that fight though, but yeah, I think Abubakar Vagayev, more experience. He has a lot of fights. I think he's going to win this fight by decision. Probably a pretty boring fight. After that, we got in the heavyweight division, Rizvan Kuniev versus Tyrell Fortune. I'm going to be going with Kuniev to get the win by decision, but I feel like this fight's a lot closer than people think. He is a very big favorite. Tyrell Fortune is a pretty decent heavyweight. He has a pretty good record. He did have a pretty close win over Tybura, which Tybura also hasn't really been looking that good recently. Kuniev has a good chin. I think, Fortune probably does have more power than Kuniev, but I think Kuniev going to be a lot more faster in there. I think he's going to mix in his wrestling. I think he's going to get this win by decision. I don't think this fight's going to be that exciting either. I think this is going to be more of a grappling matchup. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Kuniev might be able to submit him, maybe even knock him out, but I'm going to lean towards Kuniev getting the win by decision. After that, we got someone finally making his UFC debut, John Pork, a.k.a. Chanko, Magomed Zainukov versus Damian Rizabecki, which Damian Rizabecki is another very good prospect. He is undefeated as well, and he does have a lot of knockout finishes. Magomed Zainukov does get dropped a lot. He does get hit with big shots, so this might be a big upset. Damian Rizabecki might go out there and knock out Chanko, but I don't see that happening. I just feel like Chanko's going to end up getting the win. I think this fight's going to be a war, a bunch of back and forth exchanges. But I think Magomed Zainukov will mix in the wrestling a little bit, even though he's not a wrestler. I feel like a lot of people were talking about this fight that like he's a wrestler just because he trains with Team Habib, but he's a striker. I feel like I think he started in Muay Thai and then transferred over to MMA. I think he's gonna go out here and strike. If he ends up, getting in a lot of bad exchanges, he's probably gonna use his wrestling. I think he's just better, more well rounded than Damian Becky. So yeah, I got Magomed Zakunov probably by knockout. I think he's gonna end up. They're gonna end up getting into some exchanges. I think it's gonna be a war back and forth. But Zakunov will be able to land that shot and knock out Damian Becky. A lot of hard names to say on this card. But yeah, I got Chanko John Pork, aka by knockout. After that, we got Islam Dulatov finally returning. It's been about a year since he last fought versus Wellington Turman. I got Dulatov. I think this is a pretty easy fight for him. He's a super huge favorite. He's powerful. He's a dangerous striker. A lot of dynamic strikes in his bag as well. Truman does train with Pereira. He is a very good striker as well. He does have decent power, but he's getting older as well. I don't think he's fought in a while either. I think Islam Dulatov, he's just getting better and better every single fight. I think he's going to go out there and knock out Wellington Turman, probably early on, probably in the first or second round. But after that, we got the co-main event of the evening. Steve Erceg taking on Ramazan Tamirov. This fight is very 50-50. It is, a pick 'em on the betting odds. I really don't know. Steve Erceg sometimes looks, insanely good in his fights. But sometimes he just looks very bad, and he also is kind of chinny as well. Tamirov does have knockout power. But yeah, I really don't know. I'm leaning towards Steve Erceg getting the win, though. I think he's just, obviously more skilled, more experienced against the top guys. He had a very close fight with Pantoja at UFC 301. Yeah, I think Erceg might be able to win this fight by decision. I think it's going to be close. I think this fight's going to be another back and forth war. A lot of crazy scrambles, which I think Erceg will get the better of. I think they're both going to end up dropping each other sometime in this fight. It's just going to be a back and forth war. Tamirov mixing in the wrestling. Yeah, I got Erceg getting the win by decision, though. But this fight can go either way. I would not be surprised if Tamirov does win. If you are going to bet on this card, I feel like this fight is the one fight to not bet on because this really can go either way. But I'm leaning towards Erceg getting the win by decision. It's probably going to end up being fight of the night, though. Okay. After that, we got the main event. Magomed Ankalaev, Big Ank, taking on Bogdan Guskov. I'm going to be going with Ankalaev to get the win by knockout. A lot of people like to call Ankalaev boring, which, yes, in his last couple of fights, he has been kind of boring. You look at the Jan Blachowicz fight, which is probably the most boring main event of all time. I think that was worse than Conor versus Max Holloway. Like that, I'd rather, Conor get injured in the first minute and that's it, than dealing with a 5-round, just boring fight, ending in a draw, no one becoming champion. That's, just thinking about it, that was one of the worst main events in history. But that fight was kind of boring. The first fight for Pereira was also kind of boring. But if you look at his earlier career, Ankalaev does finish people. He does have knockout power. He just hasn't used it recently. But I think this is where that, he comes back with a knockout in this fight. I think he's going to knock out Bogdan Guskov. Guskov is coming on short notice. Yeah, I just feel like Ankalaev is better everywhere. He's a better striker. He is a better wrestler, which his wrestling isn't that good. I feel like a lot of people hype it up more than it really is just because he is Dagestani, but it's really not that crazy. No one at light heavyweight really has good wrestling in general. So Magomed Ankalaev's wrestling is probably better than most of the guys there, but it's really not that good. I think he might mix up the wrestling a little bit, but I think he's just gonna pressure Guskov, use those front kicks, use that jab, and I think he's gonna end up knocking him out. Guskov does get hit a lot. He does have a decent chin, but he hasn't faced someone with the power of Magomed Ankalaev yet. I got Ankalaev getting the win by knockout, probably in the later rounds. I think he's going to pick him apart for the first couple of rounds. And then probably in rounds 3, 4, maybe 5, he's going to end up getting the knockout finish, which this does put him in a very good position. I did see that they might do Paulo Costa versus Yuri Prohaska for the interim light heavyweight championship, which I'm a big Yuri fan, but I don't think he deserves to fight for interim after getting knocked out, fighting for the undisputed. But if you look at it, there's not really much guys at light heavyweight right now, so I guess there's not much they can make. But yeah, I think after this fight, he probably ends up fighting for the interim next, maybe the undisputed. I think, maybe they'll do Costa versus Yuri. Whoever wins that fights Oberg, and then the winner of that ends up fighting Ankalaev. He might become champion again. We'll see. Yeah, let me know your guys' picks in the comments down below. Pretty mid card this weekend, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I feel like this card is pretty good to bet on, though. A lot of the odds are, pretty decent. I feel like this is a pretty easily predictable card. Let's see if we go 13 for 13. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.